A disturbing trail of social media posts is now at the center of the Shreveport mass shooting, where gunman Shamar Elkins killed 8 children, 7 of them his own, in a brutal rampage. A chilling new picture is emerging from the Shreveport mass shooting. The gunman, Shamar Elkins, a 31-year-old Army veteran, had posted a smiling photo with his daughter just hours before unleashing a deadly rampage. Just hours before the attack, Elkins shared a photo with his eldest daughter during what he called a one-on-one date, writing, "Lol, took my oldest on a lil one-on-one date," a post now sending chills as it captures his final moments before the killings.
A little girl, 3 years old, shot in the head while she slept. Her name was Jayla, and the man who pulled the trigger, the man who stood over her in the dark, was her father. That's not a story you're ready for. Nobody ever is. But it happened, right here, in a quiet neighborhood in Shreveport, Louisiana, on a Sunday morning when most of this country was still asleep. The day before, Saturday afternoon, a neighbor named Freddie Montgomery was walking home. He glanced across the street. There was a man sitting on his front porch, relaxed, unbothered. Children were running through the yard. You could hear them. Freddie waved. The man waved back. Normal. That's the word that keeps coming up when people talk about that Saturday. Normal. And then Sunday arrived. Freddie opened his curtains that morning and saw police cars. Then more police cars. Then officers going inside that house across the street. The one with the porch, the yard, the children from the day before. He walked outside, asked one of the officers if it was bad. The officer said yes. Are we talking fatalities? Multiple, the officer said. Freddie paused. Loss of children? The officer didn't flinch. Multiple. That was the moment Freddie Montgomery understood that the man who waved at him, that ordinary man on that ordinary porch, had done something the human mind is not built to process. 8 children were dead. 7 of them were his own. So who was Shamar Elkins? That's the question everyone in Shreveport started asking the moment his name hit the news. And the answer is, on the surface, he looked like a lot of guys you probably know. 31 years old. Born and raised in Shreveport. Never really left. He joined the Louisiana Army National Guard at 18, served 7 years, came home. Signal support. Fire support. The kind of guy who wore a uniform, followed orders, showed up. He had children who called him daddy. He had a wife. He had a front porch. But here's where you have to pay attention, because the version of Shamar Elkins that the neighborhood saw, that was never the full picture. In 2016, he caught a DWI. Then in 2019, there was a firearms case. A man pulled a gun on him during some kind of confrontation, and Elkins fired back. Now, some people might hear that and think, okay, self-defense situation, complicated. But the outcome matters here. He pleaded guilty. Felony conviction. Illegal weapons charge. He was put on probation. 18 months. Which means by law, by federal law, Shamar Elkins was not supposed to have a gun. Ever. Again. But on the morning of April 19th, 2026, he had one. Investigators are still trying to figure out how. Sit with that for a second. A man with a felony weapons conviction, prohibited from owning a firearm. And somehow, on the worst morning of Shreveport's history, he was armed. Now let's talk about the marriage. Because this is where things get deeply uncomfortable. Shamar Elkins and his wife Shaniqua, they were done. Or at least she was done. She had made the decision to leave. They had a court date set for Monday, April 20th, the very next morning after all of this happened, to finalize the divorce paperwork. 1 day away. She was 1 day away from being free. His brother-in-law, Troy Brown, who lived in that house with them, watched Elkins fall apart the moment the separation became real. And I mean fall apart. Troy said Elkins started acting like a man who had completely lost his grip. He kept saying it over and over. Bro, I don't want to lose my wife. And Troy, to his credit, tried everything. Dominoes, cards, walks around the block, just sitting outside talking. Anything to keep Elkins grounded, present, connected to something real. But here's the thing that will stay with you long after this episode is over. Before Shaniqua and Shamar were even married, before the wedding, before the vows, before any of it, Elkins had already told her exactly what he would do if she ever tried to leave. He told her he would kill her. He told her he would kill their kids. and then he would kill himself. She heard those words, and she stayed, maybe out of love, maybe out of fear, maybe both, because with men like this, those two things have a way of getting tangled up until you can't tell them apart. But that statement he made, that was not a moment of anger. That was a man telling you his plan. And nobody called the police. Nobody filed a report. Nobody flagged it. In January, just 3 months before the shooting, Elkins checked himself into a VA hospital. Mental health treatment. He was there for over a week. When he came home, Troy said he seemed calmer, more stable, better. Troy even asked him at some point, "Do you need to go back?" Elkins said no. "I'm just gonna deal with it." And Troy said something in an interview that I haven't been able to shake since I first read it. He said, "I wish he went ahead and got the help." Because here's what Troy Brown understood in hindsight that nobody understood in the moment. Shamar Elkins was not a man who was getting better. He was a man who was waiting. And on the night of Saturday, April 19th, while 8 children slept under his roof and 1 block away, he stopped waiting. Here is what we know.
About 5:55 a.m. on Sunday morning, Shreveport police received the first call regarding a disturbance at a resident in the 300 block of West 79th Street. The caller stated that they were on top of a house. The suspect was inside and that a male had been shot. 3 minutes later at 5:58, dispatch received an additional call indicating the suspect was a relative of the caller. A minute later, 5:59 a.m., dispatch was advised that approximately 9 individuals resided at the location. The caller further stated that the suspect, identified as Shamar Elkins, had shot everyone inside the home. At 6 o'clock a.m., 1 minute later, the caller advised that she and her children had fled from the roof and were now in the backyard. 6:01 a.m., officers arrived on the scene. 6:03, officers made contact with the caller at the residence. At 6:05 approximately, officers requested the Shreveport Fire Department to stage at a nearby location close to Linwood. 6:07 a.m., a second call was received regarding a shooting in the 500 block of Harrison Street. The caller stated that her boyfriend had shot her, taken her 3 children, and fled the scene. 6:08 a.m., the victim identified the suspect as Shamar Elkins. At 6:10, dispatch linked the Harrison Street shooting with the shooting on West 79th Street and that they all were related. At 6:15, officers received information that the suspect had carjacked a red Kia Sportage at West 79th, closest to Linwood. At 6:17 a.m., our traffic units out on random patrol encountered or observed that particular vehicle traveling southbound on Interstate 49. The officers advised at 6:18 that they were crossing the Red River Bridge into Bossier City. At 6:20, officers received information that the children taken from the Harrison Street residence may be inside of the fleeing vehicle. 6:23 a.m., officers advised that they were exiting near Swan Lake area. 6:25 a.m. approximately, officers located the injured victims from the Harrison Street shooting. 6:29 a.m., officers made contact with the suspect through an exchange of gunfire. At 6:30 a.m., officers confirmed contact with the suspect in the 400 block of Brompton Lane. 6:40 a.m., officers advised that the suspect vehicle was empty and no children were located inside. 6:43 a.m., officers cleared the resident of West 79th Street where multiple deceased victims were located. 7:03 a.m., Shamar Elkins was pronounced deceased at the scene on Brompton Lane. 7:14 a.m., the Shreveport Police Department contacted the Louisiana State Police Investigative Division, and they began their deployment to the Bossier City address to begin to investigate the officer-involved shooting.
All I can tell you today is my heart is saddened. It has brought me to my knees, and of course that's a great place to be, because then we can communicate with God.
Apparently the shooter started at one place and shot someone who he had a relationship with or was in a relationship with. And then he went to the other location where there actually, I think, were 9 children there. One of the children has survived, but 8 of them were shot and killed by the same person. He then bolted from the house, hijacked a car, and took off. The police gave chase, and they ended up in an exchange of gunfire, at which time the assailant is deceased.
Over 30% of our crimes and 30% of our murders in the city of Shreveport are domestic in relation. Now that number has gone up. We've more than doubled our homicides in the city of Shreveport because of one act of domestic violence. We as a community, black, white, Republican, Democrat, need to stand together and fight for what is right. This is nothing but pure evil. We can have 100 new police cars. We can have a brand new, beautiful, multi-million-dollar police substation right up the road. But until we stop this violence, the cycle of violence, like I've said over and over again, we're going to still be standing here, and it's only going to get worse.
Because the truth is this: domestic violence is not a private issue. It's not a family issue. It is a community issue. And when we fail to respond in a coordinated, consistent, and compassionate way, people die. This tragedy is a painful reminder that we cannot afford to work in silos. We cannot afford to wait until the next crisis. We cannot afford to treat domestic violence as an afterthought. We must ensure that every victim, every mother, every father, every child has access to safety, support, and intervention before the violence escalates. So today, I'm calling on every leader in this parish to join us in building a fully coordinated, community-wide response to domestic violence.
I was born and raised in Cedar Grove, so that was the neighborhood I grew up in. So I get it, and I just want to, it don't even have to be Cedar Grove. It can be Cooper Road, Allendale, Lakeside. All communities, all neighborhoods should feel the tragedy of today.
Now I'm asking you to please utilize every resource that the sheriff has brought forth now when you know that these situations occur. We cannot be and make this a joke. This is not a freaking joke. This is real, and this is the result when someone snaps. So I'm gonna ask the community, along with prayer, with every mental health consultant, counselor that is out here, this family and this community needs you. I need you. Because how do we get through this? How do we get to the next level? It is real, and this is raw. And these are the tragedies when there are domestic violence or domestic disturbances in our community.